Hello BookTube universe, it's Shauna. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for joining in on my first official video to BookTube. So I thought I would start off this channel, besides the BookTube newbie tag that I posted before, with my 2020 goals for the year, for this new decade. I just have goals for this year, obviously not the whole decade. That gives me a lot of anxiety. So we're just gonna go with my book reading goals for the year 2020 because that's all I've kind of come up with so far this year. I have not come up with my personal goals just yet. But I thought you all would be interested in hearing my book and reading goals. So we're gonna jump right into it. I'm gonna start off saying that Goodreads, they are, if you're not familiar, they are a website that you can basically keep track of everything that you're reading or want to read or currently reading or have read. It's a lot of things. You can give star ratings, you can give written out reviews, you can do all kinds of things. It's a really cool website. Definitely go check it out. I only just discovered it a couple of years ago. So, and even then I wasn't using it. I wasn't an avid user of it because I thought it was just a place to get books. I didn't realize it was this whole other thing. It wasn't until recently that I discovered it's actually a way for you to keep track of your reading. So I don't have any back history on Goodreads. I've never done the Goodreads challenge, which is where how many books do you want to read at the beginning of the year? How many books you want to read throughout the year? You stated at the beginning of the year. You can join in at any time. And I think I did it last year, but I wasn't strict on it. Because like I said, I didn't really know what Goodreads was until a little bit ago. You'll find and you'll learn with this channel that I have been missing out on a lot of things, BookTube being one of them. Anyways, so Goodreads challenge, I have not participated officially in one ever before. I thought, what better way to start off the new decade with actually doing and sticking to a Goodreads challenge. So without further ado, my Goodreads challenge for the year is to read, can't do a drum roll, you get the point. I would like to read 50 books. 50 books is what I would like to read. It may not seem like a lot to other booktubers, but my life is kind of crazy. So I'm gonna take it easy on myself. This traffic, hopefully you can't hear it. I'm sorry if you can. Anyways, this is why I film at night. So, like I said, to other booktubers, 50 books this year may not sound like a lot. I've watched other people's videos so far of them professing their Goodreads challenge or their goals for this year, and some people are doing like 70 or 80 books this year. Please give me your tips and your ways on how you're able to accomplish this because I know that I cannot. I wish that I could. If I could set that goal for myself and feel realistic about it, I hands down would. But I'm being realistic. I'm giving myself this time to read and not feel bogged down about this challenge. This is turning into an extremely long video and I'm just getting started. Okay, we're gonna move on. So my Goodreads challenge this year is to read 50 books. I think I can accomplish it. I've already finished one book this year so far. I feel like I'm on a roll. So I'm doing good. I feel confident. Another goal of mine, because I took a bit of a reading hiatus for a while, a little bit about me. I founded reading. Okay, no, not the founder of reading. I discovered reading and how much I loved it in middle school. So that was a while ago, but I was reading avidly. I was reading like 2 or 3 books a week. I swear to God. I was reading like 2 or 3 books a week. I was reading a lot, essentially. And that's when I discovered reading. I loved it, wanted to read all the time, continued that way through high school, pretty much for the most part. And then when I got to college, I kind of fell out of it for a little while. I was trying to find myself. I was figuring out life, living on my own. You know how all of that goes. So being super busy, I wasn't able to read as much as I wanted to. Honestly, I wasn't even wanting to read all that much, which is why I had the slump. And it wasn't until maybe 2 years ago that I really started to pick it back up again. I'd say 1 or 2 years ago now. I'm fully back into it, but because of my reading slump and my reading hiatus, whatever you want to call it, I missed out on a lot of the popular series and popular novels that came out in that time period I was in that slump. So one of my biggest goals for this year, besides reading 50 books, is to read and get caught up on all of those popular books and popular series of the past several years that I was missing out on reading. So I actually have a list for you ready to go. I'm going to preface all of this with saying, please don't judge me too harshly for not having read some of these books. I know it's a sin. If you're a booktuber or a book lover, you are probably going to judge me, but it's good. I'm planning to get caught up this year, so. First series that I want to get caught up on is the Diviner series by Luba Bray. As I'm filming this video, I have it right next to me. Oh, how convenient. I borrowed it from the library. This is on loan from the library, which is why it has this big sticker on the top. Anyways, I'm about a little over halfway through. So yeah, like I'm getting caught up. I'm on my way. The next series that I want to get caught up on is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I've heard a lot about this series from other booktubers, and I've seen it around bookstores, obviously, but I have read another series by Maggie Stiefvater, and I absolutely loved it. I love her writing. I love her storytelling. So I have a feeling I'll like this series as well. And also with this list, I'm not reading this just because I want to like be a part of the pop culture or whatever. Like, I really am genuinely interested in reading these books. Like, they would not be on my reading list if I thought I would not enjoy them, like truly enjoy them. Yes, sometimes I will read a book because everyone's hyping about it. But if it doesn't sound interesting to me, if the plot doesn't sound interesting, then I'm not gonna waste my time. The next series that I would like to read is, I don't think this is the title of the series, but this is what everyone calls it, The Cruel Prince series by Holly Black. I think she has 3 in this series. I think it's a trilogy, I wanna say. She, again, is another fantastic author. I've read several of her books as well, including Modern Fairy Tales, which is like her other trilogy that she has. It's like an earlier version, but really good. Loved the series. So I have a feeling I'll like this series as well, even though the last book I heard was a little controversial as far as like just not living up to people's expectations. But the next book / series, so far I think it's a duology, I don't know if she's coming out with more, is Children of Blood and Bone. I do not know how to pronounce her name. I sincerely apologize if I screwed up. Tomi Adeyemi? I'm really bad at pronouncing other languages or other names in general, honestly. So Children of Blood and Bone. Really, I've heard amazing things about this book, and she just came out with the second one November last year. So just a couple months ago, very recently, and it sounds really good, sounds really great. I want to read it, so that is on the list. The next 2 I think are going to get me the most grief, but a series I have not read, but I do plan on reading, is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I have not read anything by Leigh Bardugo, I will say that. I know, it's bad, I'm very bad. But it's okay, because like I said, I'm getting caught up. I'm reading all of these this year. I plan on it. And I actually do have the first book. I have Six of Crows on my desk. I'm ready to read it. I just have not yet. I have not gotten to it just yet. The next series that I have on this list that I plan to read this year is the Scythe series by Neal Shusterman. I, again, have read plenty of things from Neal Shusterman, just haven't read the Scythe series. I think he came out with it right as my reading slump kind of started in college. And so I just completely, I missed that wave, missed all of it. So another big goal of mine this year is to, I don't know how this noise is translating into the video, if it is at all. I'm gonna look like an idiot if I'm just sitting here and you guys aren't hearing anything. Okay. I'm pretty sure you heard that. Okay. Living in LA, living it up. So the next goal of mine is I want to read different genres. I want to branch out. I know that sounds like everybody's goal. Everybody wants to like branch out and read things, you know, they don't normally read. And as you could tell from that list I just gave you, I kind of love young adult fantasy. It's my bread and butter. I love it. It's so good. I can't That's always what I read, typically, is young adult things, but more specifically young adult fantasy. So I'm fine with that, but I really want to branch out. I want to give new genres a chance. I want to read new authors. I want to just explore different options. And I think BookTube is going to be a great place to kind of do that, to discover new things. With that being said, I specifically would like to read more poetry. I hate poetry. Okay, I won't say I hate poetry. I used to hate poetry with a passion in high school because you were forced to read it, and it was always this old stuffy thing. Like, I didn't like it. I actually did write poetry though in elementary school, and I loved it. I wrote a lot of different poetry actually when we studied it. There was a part of me that really, really enjoyed it. But then I just went through this punk phase, I guess, clearly, where I hated everything. And so I hated poetry. That was one of the things I hated. But recently, watching other booktubers and seeing them have these poetry collections, and watching one of my favorite booktubers who's actually written a poetry collection and coming out with her second pretty soon, it makes me want to get back into it, or to give it another chance. Because also this booktuber, who's written 2 poetry collections now, hated poetry as well. She was in the same boat as me. Hated it, didn't want to have anything to do with it, and then rediscovered it in a way. So she actually has a video where she recommends poetry that will get you into poetry. An easy kind of transition into it to get your feet wet a little bit. So I want to give those a try, and I want to give poetry a try. I don't want to slander it anymore because I know it's really popular, and obviously it's like romantic, it's cute, it's sweet. Sometimes, obviously, not all poetry is cute and sweet and hearts and flowers. Some of it is very, very depressing, but I want to give it another try. You'll find with this channel that I ramble quite a bit, and I do apologize for that. Okay, I'm drinking my coffee. My next goal within reading, I guess this is like a subtopic of that last goal of reading different genres and like branching out a little bit more, is I love spooky, suspenseful, horror type books. So Stephen King, absolutely love him. So I want to read more of his books. I've only read a handful of them, surprisingly. And I love scary books. It's not good. So I plan on reading a lot more Stephen King this year. And I want to get back to the roots of like mystery and horror. If Stephen King wasn't a root enough, I want to read a lot more Agatha Christie books, because I don't think I've ever actually read an Agatha Christie book. I know, you would think someone who says they love spooky books and horror and mystery never read an Agatha Christie book. Who is she? Okay, yes. I would like to read more scary, spooky things, more horror, all that stuff. Also, another author I do love though, she's more modern, but her name is Ruth Ware, and she is a fantastic author. I have read a couple of her books. I just actually bought another one. I think it's called The Lion Game. It's actually back there. It's over there. Yo. So I want to read more of her stuff. She writes really great thrillers. Not so much horror, it's more thriller stuff, but she's a fantastic author. So I want to read more of her stuff too. The last thing, my last goal of this year, is to reread a lot of childhood favorites. I feel it's only fitting, starting a new decade, starting this booktube channel, rediscovering my love for reading, to reread what actually got me into reading in the first place. So, excuse me, okay. Some of the books I would like to reread this year are the Twilight series by Stephenie Meyer. I mean, it's just a throwback. You got to. It makes you feel good, makes you laugh, keeps you entertained. Even though that was not the original intention of the books, of like making you laugh. Like, this is, I'm over this. Okay, as I was saying, Twilight I want to reread. I definitely want to reread, I've read it before. I want to reread Harry Potter, obviously by J.K. Rowling. I don't think I need to say that, but I will say it anyways. I want to reread Harry Potter because I read it when I was younger, obviously, like all of us, but I wasn't a huge die-hard fan of Harry Potter. please don't hate me. Love the books. I think they're great. They're really good books, and obviously they're on my list to reread again this year. But I wasn't, yeah, you get the point. I'm not gonna dive further into this and make you hate me more. Yes, I want to reread Harry Potter and relive the magic all over again, and I would love to do, whenever I do that, kind of watch the movies as I'm rereading the books, like rewatch all of the movies again, because that's what you do when you reread Harry Potter. And you know, honestly, I might do the same thing for Twilight. I just might rewatch that whole series because it's a good time. It's a great time. And then another series I really would like to reread. These are just some. I will want to reread like more stuff, but this is just kind of giving you an example of things that I read when I was younger that I want to reread, or just books I want to revisit again. And one thing that actually sparked my love for like thrillers and mystery and like horror kind of type genre, this series that I would like to reread is called Unseen, and I do not know how to pronounce this author's name. And it's long, but I'm going to give it a shot because I need to pay due respect to these authors who wrote these wonderful books. So it's the Unseen series. There are 4 in the series, and it's written by Richie Tankersley Cusick. I feel that I very much butchered that, but look it up if you want to, because it's great. This series has, I just remember it having a lot of twists and turns. It really kept me on the edge of my seat. It left you with a lot of cliffhangers in every book too. Just a really good, well-rounded series from what I can remember. So I want to reread that. Also, I'm gonna let you know right now, I have the worst book memory of anyone ever. Hearing that coming from a booktuber, I probably should not tell you this in one of my first videos. You'll probably unsubscribe from me right away when you hear this. But I do have the worst book memory ever, and I hate it because I love these books. And the thing that I remember most from the books, obviously, is how it made me feel. If I absolutely loved it, if I absolutely hated it, if I thought it was boring. But ask me the characters' names, I might not be able to tell you. Ask me what the story is about, I probably won't be able to tell you. Like, not enough to get you interested. I just know, okay, it's about a boy and a girl in New York. It's really good, just read it. And that's like most of my reviews, unless like I read it recently. So fear not, with this YouTube channel, I will make sure that I give you better reviews than just go read it. And it was great. Obviously, I would not get very far in this channel if those were my types of reviews all the time. But ask friends and family, if I ever recommend a book to them, they'll tell you, yeah, that's pretty much what I said. Unless I read it very recently, I probably will not be able to give you a synopsis of the book. But if I am able to tell you, if I read this book more than 2 months ago, like from the time I talked to you about it, and I can give you details and synopsis. If I can give you, like, if I could tell you what the story is about, then you know it's a good book. That's all I'm gonna say for this. So if I'm rereading a book or talking about a book that I've read very long ago in the past, and I haven't looked it up online, just know if I'm able to talk to you about it and give you details about it and talk about characters in the book, just know it's a really good one and you should read it ASAP. That should go to the top of your list. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you watching another video of mine. If you watched the first one, if this is your first video, that's fine too. But you should go back and watch my BookTube newbie tag. It's my first video that I posted. Please come back to my channel, see more videos that I put up. It's gonna be a crazy couple of months trying to figure out this YouTube thing, but I'm really excited and I want you guys to join me on this journey, and I hope that you find my reviews helpful. I hope that you find my videos entertaining and fun to watch. I know I really enjoy BookTube. It's actually gotten me through some really hard times in the past couple months, so I would love to help somebody else out. Thanks so much for tuning in. I would love it if you could give me a thumbs up, or if you could subscribe if you haven't already. Also, leave me a comment down below if you have any recommendations on genres that I should try to read, or specific authors I should try to read who are spooky or whatever it is, I am open. 2020, I'm open to any ideas, any and all ideas. So please, if you have a favorite author or favorite genre, just send it to me down below in the comments. I would love to hear from you guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.